Before that, I was like, Usyk wins the rematch. Probably not even close. It's another win for Usyk. But now, actually listening to him and listening to his mindset.
Now you feel like he's trying. Now
I feel like he's up.
Oleksandr Usyk has sent a frenzy across the boxing world with his most recent training footage, as more and more boxing professionals keep picking him as the favorite ahead of the fight while expressing their worries for the Gypsy King. Oleksandr Usyk's footwork, athleticism and body movements, which seem to be his major weapons, have even become more potent as his new training sessions have revealed. Many boxing professionals who have even lined on Tyson Fury's side of the fence have been forced to decamp after seeing this. Speaking to Seconds Out, former British heavyweight champion David Price said the second fight will have the same result in the same fashion, praising Usyk's unique ability to find another gear when the going gets tough. The rematch will be another Usyk points win. I just think it's gonna take something extra special to beat Usyk, or he's gonna have to be on the decline, and I just don't think he's there yet. He finds that little bit extra when it's needed and pulls it out the bag. Draw up on something from somewhere. Any difficult fight he's in, the Chisora fight, he just managed to pull away with it at the end. Joshua fights.
I just always feel like Usyk's got like a little bit of extra in the reserves, no matter who he fights, whether it's Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, he just seems to be able to pull that little bit more out of the tank than whoever he's...
He just finds that little bit more even when his opponents are at the top of their game, which Joshua was in the second fight. Price, who beat Fury in the amateurs and almost fought him as a pro, looked back on the first fight as the perfect example. Fury was having good success in the middle rounds before Usyk bloodied his nose in the 8th and had him seriously hurt in the 9th.
Facing, and I think the fact that he beat him in the first fight, you know, has given him another boost.
And again with the Fury fight, he did it. He was probably behind on the cards, looked like he was struggling at one point. He just finds a way to win. Tyson Fury's always been that man, but the one man he couldn't against was the other guy who always finds the way. Same result this time. Few men are better positioned to deliver a prediction on Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury II than Fabio Wardley. The British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion has sparred with both men during his rise to the top and is confident about who will get their hand raised when they rematch on December 21st. I think it's a lot of the same, to be honest, he told Boxing Social. I think Usyk will go into the fight with the mindset, like he has done with all of his fights, that just narrow focus, straight on target, on point, not missing the beat, not missing the step. Maybe Fury will say that his camp wasn't ideal, or he wasn't in the best place or the best shape, or whichever else. Who knows? So maybe the loss was what he needed to go right 100% back in, and maybe he comes out differently. Sadly, Tyson Fury's decision to add weight isn't working in his favor at all. Tyson Fury is gearing up for his heavyweight title rematch against Oleksandr Usyk later this month, but some boxing fans have been left concerned by his latest training update. Tyson Fury is gearing up for a highly anticipated rematch with Oleksandr Usyk later this month, and fans are abuzz with predictions after eyeing the Gypsy King's condition. Come December 21st in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the two heavyweight titans will clash once more, rekindling their fierce contest from their initial skirmish this past May. Usyk emerged victorious in their first showdown by a split decision, handing Fury his maiden professional loss, and at age 37, becoming the first since Lennox Lewis to unify the division's titles by snatching Fury's World Boxing Council crown. Yet Usyk has relinquished the International Boxing Federation belt, now held by Daniel Dubois, opting for Fury over the mandatory challenger. Fury, at 36, touts 34 victories from 36 bouts, inclusive of one draw, whilst Usyk boasts an impeccable streak of 22 wins. As Fight Night looms just a fortnight away, each competitor is fine-tuning their preparation. Fury recently offered a glimpse into his regimen via Instagram, revealing his muscular efforts with the caption, "Working my ass off to regain the championship." Fans have launched into debate concerning his physical form, as seen on social media. Two responses in particular stood out on Instagram. One observer remarked, "He looks old there," while another commented, "Bro looks 47. Commentary from social media speaks volumes about the concerns for heavyweight boxer Fury's physical condition ahead of an anticipated fight. One Instagram user openly voiced concerns, saying, "Doesn't look near as good as the previous fight and he lost that, so I'm worried." Another observer hinted at potential long-term effects of Fury's fluctuating weight, commenting, "Fury ballooning up and down in weight down the years maybe has caught up with him. If Fury's damaged goods, he took a lot of punishment in the first fight. Flip side, on paper, there's still a massive size advantage for Fury if he can make it count."
More focused and a little bit more smart to get the victory. As it would seem, my rematch.
Meanwhile, criticism of Fury's appearance was blunt from another fan. Fury has never been the body beautiful type of fighter, but I have to say he looks awful here. I can see Usyk, whose fitness is never in doubt, stopping Fury this time. Another world-class trainer, Shane McGuigan, also picked Usyk for a win and stated why Usyk would be the anointed one to hand Fury his very first career loss. Making his pick and stating why, he said, "I'm leaning towards Usyk in winning the later rounds and holding form. I think it will be quite even down the stretch. I think he might just be picking up rounds with his activity late on in the fight."
If I had to push you one.
On recent form, Usyk.
Ooh.
But size, strength, how he can sap him. No one sapped him yet. Derek Chisora was the closest person to sort of like physically impose himself, and he did that early, and then Usyk adjusted. So I don't.
Asked about the kind of fight he was expecting, McGuigan responded, "They will both have enough power to knock each other out, but I think they have enough power to keep each other honest and get each other's respect. And if that's the case, Fury's going to try to long arm him and slow the pace down as much as possible, put his arm out and try and use that size and stand over the top of Usyk." He continued, "And it might take Usyk a few rounds to really fire off that, but once he learns how to fire off it, create an angle and go to the body and stuff, it might become a volume game where it's Usyk who is throwing more punches. He's working at a higher tempo. There's no way Fury can maintain an output to keep up with Usyk."
With Usyk, he just doesn't do that. He's a slickster. I think they've done the right decision to sort of take some weight off him, because you're going to have to match him for footwork and speed. And I think it's a really exciting fight. I'm really, really excited about it. I don't think it's going to be one of them ones where it's like we walk away from it being like, "Oh, so Gatti Ward." But from a skill aspect, I'm really excited.
From a purist point of view, yeah. Prediction?
Also, McGuigan was asked about what he felt Usyk could do to win. He stated, "I believe it's not try to load up, fire 2 or 3 shots to get you in rather than one slip and a big shot. Lots of head movement. Get underneath him. Create lots of head movement and shoot your legs in. And when you're on the inside, you can't let him lean on you. You can't let him impose his size. You'll have to slip, get round him, and I think he's very good at those little tricks on the inside, and then not try to knock him out with one shot. Just land and keep the output high. Force Fury to fight at an unrealistic pace." In addition, he said, all he wants to do is slow the pace down all the time, get into his rhythm, get into his comfort zone. Lots of feints, lots of movement, and then just firing off those angles. And I think if you keep that up, out of the two of them, he can sustain it for a longer period of time. And I believe that is one of the reasons why he will nick a close points decision."
Usyk's so clever. He's just nudging off the line. He can take it to you, then he'll drop back or he'll take a side, constantly changing the angles. And for a guy that doesn't throw combat.
When asked who he would rather train, McGuigan said, "In terms of where they are in their career, I would rather work with Usyk. Fury has a great chance in the fight. I think only until the Francis Ngannou fight everyone thought he was going to win it. But I just think if it's a technical fight that Usyk is the fresher athlete, and I think he's got far more to his game." He then added, "If you boiled Usyk down into a middleweight, he'd be a very effective middleweight. Where if you boiled Tyson Fury into a middleweight with his style and lack of power per weight almost, he wouldn't be as effective at another weight. So I would be more excited to work with Usyk."
And it's going to be one of them where like he might win a couple of rounds, and he might win them quite big because he might maul him and land a few shots. But once again, you've got a guy that's nimble, that's athletically still really, really there. Usyk, and I think he'll be able to get his wind and nick it on points.
With Fury's size in mind, Usyk is tailoring his training camp accordingly. He has even suggested he may come in a bit heavier than usual. There will be changes in the strategy for the fight, but I'll continue to prepare in the same way, Usyk said on the overlap. I'll do a lot of training, swimming, running, boxing.
Yes. 9 months I work. I missed.
There will be new workouts because the guy Fury is slightly different. He is big and tall, so his combinations and boxing style will be different. There won't be any less work to do. If anything, there'll be more of it. I will gain the necessary weight to do my job properly. Asked if he thinks Fury is a more difficult fighter than Joshua, Usyk answered in the affirmative. Yes, of course, Usyk said. He has a different style. Fury is more audacious. Usyk also offered a breakdown of his training regime, which is known to be particularly arduous, even by elite prize fighting standards.
Happy New Year. I missed birthday, my son. I missed.
The first workout is at 5 a.m. Mostly it's cardio. Then at noon, there is a second workout. If it's in a swimming pool, then I swim at least 2 kilometers in the pool. The main training session is at 6 p.m. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have sparring sessions. On Saturday, as you have seen today, I run for 10, 15, or 20 kilometers. Sunday is my day off, which I dedicate to praying and going to church. Former boxing world champion Tony Bellew is confident that Oleksandr Usyk will secure another victory in the rematch with Tyson Fury.
He can win, mate. He could land a freaky punch. Anything can happen. But if I'm being totally honest, do I think he'll win? No. I think he'll lose again. And this time, I think he'll lose really close.
Usyk became the first undisputed heavyweight champion of the world since Lennox Lewis in 1999, when he defeated Fury back in May. The 37-year-old secured a tight split decision win on the judges' scorecards after an epic battle at Kingdom Arena. The official score totals read 115, 112 Usyk, 114, 113 Fury, and 113 Usyk. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh confirmed that the rematch between Usyk and Fury is being planned for the 21st of December in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Bellew famously fought Usyk for the undisputed cruiserweight crown in 2018. The 41-year-old went on to lose to the Ukrainian via 8th round KO.
Anthony for Tyson Fury, because that's one that he can't control. You've got to understand, Cougs, he pressed the whole fight. He walked the 6'9", 20.
While Fury is confident he can win the rematch, Bellew believes Usyk will be too much for the Brit. Asked if the Gypsy King can win, the Bomber told IFL TV, of course he can win. He could land a freaky punch. Anything can happen. But if I'm being totally honest, do I think he'll win? No, I think he'll lose again. And this time, I think he'll lose really clearly. Because Usyk this time will go on the back foot. And that is the worst nightmare for Tyson Fury, because that's one that he can't control. You've got to understand, he pressed the whole fight. He walked the 6'9", 20 stone man down. He walked him down and bullied him. He continued, imagine what he does when he fights to his attributes and fights to his best, because his best is fighting on the back foot.
With people is always ends up one way. You always end up knocking them out in the rematch. Whoever I've faced more than once has been knocked out in the rematch. So
anyone who studies him and knows Usyk the way I know him and I studied him, you'll know that you've got to bring him to you. And that's the way to beat him. But you've got to counter him and feint, and you've got to be able to sharpshoot with him. You've got to be able to box with him. You've got to be able to offset him. But you've got to be able to continuously do all these things round after round. I couldn't, because guess what? I got tired. I was messed up after 6 or 7 rounds of doing it. But it's going to take a special guy to do that over 12 rounds. It can be done. There is a way to beat him. But these big boys just can't do it because they don't have the engine to stick with him.
Stone man down. He walked him down and bullied him. Imagine what he does when he fights to his attributes and fights to his best. Because his best is fighting on the back foot.
Anthony Joshua has given his opinion on the upcoming huge rematch between Usyk and Fury. In an interview with Queensberry Promotions, AJ, like Bellew, believes the Ukrainian has the edge and will emerge victorious once again. I think it's going to be a tough fight early on, and then I feel like Usyk will edge it again, he said. Also in his interview with Queensberry Promotions, the Brit labeled the Ukrainian a class operator, and that is why he thinks he will go 2-0 against the Gypsy King. He's a class operator, and I feel like Usyk is one of the best out there. That's why I think he'll win. Frosh correctly predicted that Usyk would defeat Fury the first time round in May, with the Ukrainian emerging with a split decision victory to claim all 4 world heavyweight titles.
I'll just be joined by Anthony Joshua. How are you, mate, first of all?
All is well, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm alright. You look well.
Yeah? Don't know what to say.
The Gypsy King goes into their December 21st rematch an underdog, with many concerned over the damage he sustained earlier in the year, particularly the dramatic 9th round, in which he was badly hurt and dropped. And speaking to Casino.org, Froch admitted he believes that his compatriot will fall short against Usyk once again. The first fight was a close one, or at least it was very close until Fury got knocked down in round 9. It's going to be interesting. Usyk is 37, he's older than Fury, but he lives the life. It's not the age of the fighter, but the miles on clock.
9. I mean, if that fight would have got stopped in round 9, I think he was held up by the ropes, and then Usyk was lining his chin up, and the ref jumped in to stop it because the ropes kept him up. If that was me, I'd have kept punching. Until the ref grabs me out of the way, I'm not going to stop punching. And Usyk, such a magnanimous man, and he's such an honest, fair man. He sort of stopped, he looked at the ref and stopped.
He's such a character.
Fury has more miles on the clock, having had 3 tough fights against Deontay Wilder. Then he was on the floor against Francis Ngannou. I'd predict a Usyk win, probably on points. I couldn't rule out the late stoppage because if Fury does go for it as he suggests he will. There has been much speculation over whether Fury will adopt a change in tactics ahead of the Crunch rematch, though he insists he should have had his hand raised in their first fight and as such will not be implementing any drastic adjustments. But when they run it back next month, Fury and Usyk will only be competing for 3 of the 4 major sanctioning body belts after the IBF stripped the Ukrainian. Fury is expected to adopt a more aggressive approach for the second fight and has promised a knockout to his fans. The Mancunian's coach Andy Lee claims Fury was unable to do any proper sparring ahead of his last outing with Usyk after sustaining a cut above his right before their initial planned meeting, which could prove to be a decisive change for their next encounter. It was a close fight. I thought it could have been a draw, but I had no arguments with Usyk getting the decision, Lee told TalkSport. Fights are won and lost in the ring, but also in training and preparation. Because of the rearranged date, because of the cut, Tyson couldn't spar.
Where is Tyson Fury in that rank?
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because every time they pit something against him or something new, he finds a way and comes out on top. And I think that's very much a skill in itself, is to be.
The conditioning and sharpness it took away, and his ability to concentrate and stay ready and sustain attacks. When Tyson would have success, he would have to ease off and back away and build up his energy again before moving on. In the meantime, it encouraged Usyk to come forward and gave him the emphasis to take it because he was taking a break. If Fury wins their rematch, then he insists they will have to fight for a 3rd time to prove who really is the best.
Crafty enough in the ring and figure out your opponent on the fly as well, because there's only so much you can prepare for someone, and you have to figure it out when you get in there.
But if Usyk wins, then his manager insists the only fight left for him to have is a rematch with newly crowned IBF heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois. Would we set up a fight with Dubois if Usyk beats Fury? Absolutely, Klimas told Boxing King Media. I don't think anyone else is left in the heavyweight division. Right now, Daniel Dubois is the IBF champion. On December 21st, the battle will be decided and the king of the heavyweight division of the world will be crowned again. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.